Hey guys, this is Minecraft Steve here, and as you can see from the title of the video, I ended up changing Wild Wednesdays to What If Wednesdays, and I changed Arrow after school to after school Arrow. It has a nicer touch to it, and also we will be doing Theory Thursday. Sorry I have not been unplugged these sections. It's still rolling. Yeah, it's still rolling. So yeah, as you can see from the title of the video, I decided to do Mace Windu is alive. Also, since I could not do What If Wednesdays yesterday because I had a lot to do. Also, I won't be able to do Flash Friday, I think. Hopefully I will. But I mean, you guys will know if you know I post or upload. So yeah, I will be merging What If Wednesdays with this What If Wednesday with Theory Thursday. So let's get started. I basically started out looking like what basically kind of inspired me to do this subject, not like the entire segment itself, but Mace Windu, is because it's and so yeah, I was watching the Star Wars saga, like you do. For those of you that really have no social life and, you're a Star Wars fan. I mean, who isn't a Star Wars fan? Except for the Trekkies. I mean, and I'm not throwing shade at Trekkies, because I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater. I don't hate on Trekkies, and I don't hate on Star Wars fans. So, yeah. Let's get started. So, we go back to this particular scene where Mace Windu confronts Palpatine. This theory will be what it will be. My mic went out. For the what if, on how I think that he would have, or what I think he would have done if he were to be alive. So yeah, let's get started. Wait, I already said that. So he faces Palpatine, gets the lightning, the Force lightning stuff on him, but reflects it. Yeah, he deflects it. Wait, that's not the... Whatever. So, he ends up getting thrown out. This is the theory. Like, he literally flies out of the building because of Palpatine. So, let's say he survived because he himself stated that Jedi can drop from intense feet, whatever, and still survive. Just take Obi-Wan Kenobi, for example. Yeah, and guys, don't worry about why this is open, and basically don't wonder about my other tabs. It's homework. So yeah, he goes flying out and lands it. I mean, disorientated from all that's happened, but still alive. By the time he gets to the bottom of Naboo, like the ground floor, like the ground, some clones immediately go to run to his aid, and he wakes up. He hears the their guns at deflects the lightning, but is still badly hurt because of the loss of his right hand. And so, since he is at that loss, he wasn't as good with his efficiency. Now this theory, this was not my original theory. I don't know who came up with the theory, but I mean, it's been floating around, but this is just my spin on it. So, yeah. So here's my explanation, because every theory needs an explanation. Maybe. I mean, he said it himself. I mean, I would play the clip for you, but I'm not sure if I would get copyright or not, because, well, YouTube problems, right? But anyway, he wouldn't be so yeah, basically Samuel L. Jackson states himself that Jedi can fall a tremendous feat. I know I've mentioned this before and time again, but he also stated that he asked George Lucas himself if he could be alive and not just die pathetically. And he said, "Oh, sure." Whoa. And he said, "Oh, sure. Whatever." And so now that leads us to think many things. Is this confirmation? Is this that? Is this? Whatever. I don't really have a lot of evidence of that, but then again, and this is not really related, but who else would be the main man himself, FN2187's father? I mean, other than Lando, or maybe it could just be a new character, but I'm really hoping that it's Mace Windu. And really, to me, it would make the most sense if it really were Mace Windu, because if it really were Mace Windu, well, that would be a great explanation as to why Finn is so strong with the Force. Like, hold on a separate note, bro. Like, if I were holding a real lightsaber, like How many of you used to play with lightsabers when you were a kid? Well, I'm still a kid, but still. I'm still a kid, but when you were younger than adolescent, how many of you have ever played with a lightsaber? Do you know how many times you get hit with that thing? If I were in Finn's shoes, I would have died. Because honestly, I wouldn't know how to work a lightsaber that good. In fact, literally, look at this. Look at this determination. That is so cool. I would have just been scared. I would have been dead scared if I were in his shoes. Like I said, carrying a real lightsaber, fighting some dude, especially with something like that what that stormtrooper had, that's a little extreme. I mean, and he hasn't had not a stitch of Jedi training. So if it's really that natural, it has to be a Force user. Well, I mean, it doesn't have to, but you guys get the picture. But yeah, back to Mace Windu. Like I said, this is not my original theory, but this is just my take on. This is just my spin on it. So, without further ado, let's get into the what if story. This what if story is a very well thought out story. So we start here. We look at Mace Windu. Right now, imagine this picture is through the eyes of Palpatine. It soon pans over to Anakin Skywalker making the decision. He slices off Mace Windu's hand. This was the one lightsaber noise that destroyed everything, that ruined everything. Created the original Star Wars trilogy and all. The entire balance of the galaxy. Everything has been shifted. Everything has been changed. His arm is cut off. But his scream, a scream so loud that people from 13 parsecs away can hear hear his scream. His scream, a right and mighty roar. A roar loud enough to steal all the attention from everything going on in Naboo and up to the Chancellor's office. Without hesitation, the Chancellor Palpatine has already electrocuted him enough and electrocuted him some more. The electrocution staggering Windu, overcoming Windu, ultimately destroying and decaying his body. Of course, this goal wasn't reached, but enough to wound the Jedi. Lightning gets in his eye. His right eye, as he soon has the scars, the open wounds of this picture on the screen right now. His right eye starts to lose sight, turns not normal color, not yellow or orange, but white. A blinded Jedi. Sent scorching out of the room, falling. Of course, doing what Anakin did in episode 2. He falls onto a flying vehicle. This vehicle just so happens to be piloted by stormtroopers. The stormtroopers automatically remember Windu. They pilot him to safety. They soon bring him to the infirmary in the Jedi Temple. He's still too shocked, no pun intended. He is too weakened in his condition that he can't even utter the words of the man who did this to him. But by the time he got to the infirmary, by the time he was about to find out, by the time the Jedi were about to find out, before Yoda knew, the words Order 66 were heard, muffled of course, because they were inside the comm links of the stormtrooper's hat. I mean, not hat. The clones, not stormtroopers, but you guys know what I mean. Inside their helmet, the words Order 66 were muttered. Windu instantly woke up at that moment. Order 66 mutters the word no. As the clones begin to raise their guns at Windu's head not at the butt, but at the barrel of each blaster. Windu in the middle, outnumbered, in critical condition, takes them all out just by summoning his lightsaber. It was on the other side of the room, but somehow he ended up summoning it faster than any Jedi has ever force summoned a lightsaber. He soon begins to run through the temple, praying it's not too late, crying out to the Force, asking it, am I too late? Is it too late to become one with the Force and stop this all? Is there balance to the Force? All these questions popping up in Windu's mind. Just the mere number 66 reminds him of something from his childhood or his Padawanhood. Hearing a Sith near him, an apprentice of a Dark Lord, utter the words, 66 will occur. Mace soon realizes this might be the end. As he noticed that there were more clones shooting Jedi than years Jedi had trained. And by this time, the clones had already come to know that Order 66 was to take out the Jedi. They see him running, quicker and quicker, and they follow. On the outskirts, the edge of the the entrance or exit of the Jedi Temple, he jumps out into a ditch, praying, hoping that they won't find him. After all that, he never found the Jedi that remained. He soon lived his life underground, scavenging. But then again, Mace had flirted with the dark side, so the dark side rumbled within him, and he just had the right push to put him on the dark side of the Force. The dark side crumbling within him, boiling, pestering. Mace soon comes to the overland, and the only thing that's left of the Jedi Temple are bodies, remains of the Padawan. He utters to himself, "What has he done?" He soon realizes that Anakin has done something so horrible, not by hearing it from anywhere else, but the Force. He felt it in the Force. He felt everything, every single moment that's happened while he was gone. Yoda has lost. Palpatine is now an emperor. So, he searches vigorously. He searches with intriguement. He searches with such disdain for Skywalker, as if he were allowed to talk to Yoda in a certain way and say, "I told you about him." Well, he kept searching planets and moons. Couldn't find anything, but while he was coming along, traveling 8 parsecs across the galaxy to Tatooine, the only place where Anakin would be in a time like this. He checks, but there's something blocking his view. Something so deadly, something so hatred-filled. An orb or a planet. A planet so big and hate-filled. It almost brought the dark side right out of Windu. Windu still has the light side inside him. He's not a Sith, but he is no Jedi. He's months later. In fact, no, years later. He finds out that Anakin Skywalker has become the new Dark Lord, only known as Darth Vader. He finds Vader in one of the only places that he wouldn't be, Coruscant. But then again, he wouldn't be surprised if he were at Coruscant. That's where Qui-Gon Jinn gave him the speech about midi-chlorians. Darth Vader, still standing at the very spot, not doing any evil, not doing anything bad, but just savoring the moment, not knowing what he's done, but only knowing that he has submitted himself to the dark side. He's plummeted himself in there, so deep down. And after knowing of Padme's death, knowing that there's still some bit of Skywalker lineage, Skywalker anything, and then nothing. Mace sees him standing on a roof. It's kind of hard to miss. A big, tall, dark man. To be honest, more robot than man. More machine than man. Standing where he was told of why and how he became so powerful. Windu stands on top of a building, staring him down, looking at him with such disgust. Without hesitating, he runs down and attacks Vader. And after a big fight that Vader wasn't ready for, all you can see are clashes of purple and red. And then they both force push each other's lightsabers out and onto the floors or the ground of Coruscant. Windu exclaims, "I only want to talk." And well, sorry, this is unprofessional. I just need to do something real quick. Vader replies, "Now you want to talk." Windu states, Look at what you've done to me. A metal arm. Something you've clearly lost." Vader replies, "I've been expecting you. I felt your presence in the Force." Mace replies with great disdain for the young Skywalker, Look at me. Look at what you've done to me. I can't even see out of my right eye anymore. All the Jedi are extinct." Cutting Windu off, Vader replies, "No, there are still others. You're lucky
that the Emperor has more patience than I do. Yoda is still alive. You are still alive. Somehow, I feel a tie that my offspring is alive.
Mace replies with great surprise. I am no Jedi, Vader. And you have an offspring? How? Vader replies, Padme. She was my world. My mate. My everything. And she was taken away from me. So many nights I spent alone. More machine than man. I loved that woman, I did. I did everything. All this for her. Everything. Mace replies, the Jedi is forbidden to love for reasons exactly like this. No, I want you to look me in the eye. I can't see where your eyes are going. Take off your mask. Vader takes off his mask with hesitance, great hesitance. Sorry. He takes off his mask with great hesitance. Insisting that he were not to look, for he was ashamed of what he'd become. And that he were not to look him in the eye, because he warned Windu that he wouldn't see the same person. He wouldn't even believe. Vader goes on. You would not believe what has happened to me. To be honest, I'm in worse condition than you. And that's a lot. Trust me, you don't want to see my eyes. Mace replies, sure I do. I'll still see the little boy. The little boy I warned Yoda not to let Obi-Wan train. You're a sorry excuse for a Sith, Vader. I hope you're satisfied with what you've done to the universe. Vader soon exits out of his sentimental stage as Darth Vader still looked up a certain way to Windu. Recalls Windu training him. And Vader quickly snaps out of his sentimental stage and brings out his lightsaber. Whoa, what just happened? And brings out his lightsaber. Wait, no, that's a toy. Dang it. What's happening? And force chokes Windu. Windu is hurt, but not that hurt. Windu has learned to let go, and whatever that Vader can do, he can do better. Windu soon ignites his lightsaber. Vader realizing the monster he's brought out, what he's done. Vader soon realized neither of them will get out without some battle scars. Vader's lust for power nearly destroyed his body. But Mace's ruthlessness and his need to go on, his need to fight Vader, lives within, boils within. And I know, guys, this video is running a little bit long, but I told you this is a full story. And fighting soon goes on again. Windu escapes with barely his life. Vader showing his yellow eyes, his angry, hate-filled yellow eyes, as his mask was slashed. In fact, Windu can still see the blue in his eyes, despite how much blue he saw. And so, Windu stops. Vader, of course, needs a mask repair. He can barely breathe without his mask. Windu escapes, attempts again, except in front of Palpatine. And of course, Palpatine is surprised to see his face. Palpatine's surprised that he's lived this long. Palpatine actually enjoys the thought of this. the thought of being able to have a new toy. Lips as in a bow, like a bow, and speaks.
You're young. You're not so much a young Jedi anymore. I sense grave hatred. I do. I think you're ready for the next test, for you have given in to the dark side.
Windu replies,
No, I haven't.
of course lying to the Palpatine. Once again having a dangerous battle with Darth Vader. And he successfully cuts off Vader's arm, but only to have it repaired by the time episode 6 comes around. In fact, while he was still on the ship, he was getting a repair before they came to the rebel ship. And so, Windu once again fights Vader, like I said. Windu almost won, but he won at the cost of his leg. Of course, he got a robotic one, but those hurt a lot more than getting a robotic arm. So, Mace just decides all of this hatred, the Force, he decides he's done with it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know this has been a while, like it's been very, very long. This has been very, very long. I know. It's just that this episode is just gonna wrong. Also, this also this is if he actually is, because a part of the what if is, what if he was Finn's dad or granddad, I think. So he soon runs away, forgetting it all. Even somehow fixing his eyes, mending his wounds, and he was finally a normal man. He, of course, falls in love with a beautiful, dashing girl. They have a child soon. And then
and then the child grows up. And at the age of 20, the child that is now a man meets a girl and had a baby. But the baby was taken away from the family, grown up and raised to be Finn. Now guys, I know this was a very, very long episode, but I hope you all enjoyed. If you guys are still watching, yeah, this video ran a little bit long and all, but rest assured, this was really for the better. I think it ended on too much of a bittersweet type deal. It's really making too many connections with episode 7. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, it made too many connections with episode 7. So yeah, I mean, if you guys want a grittier, or not grittier, but a more mature, not so happy ending, for like an alternate ending, please leave a like down below. Apparently I have to beg for likes now because YouTube wills it. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and comment down below whatever your thoughts are, and see you guys in the next video.